All right, guys, welcome to the Flash Weather Desktop. It is almost 9 o'clock, Saturday night, November 9th. Apologies for the weary face. It's been a long day and I'm extremely tired, but we have some exciting weather potential on the horizon, and we'll start off with the National Weather Service in Nashville capturing this interest, this possible winter precip scenario, albeit minor, but still, it's November 9th, okay? Meteorological winter starts December 1st, and actual winter doesn't start, calendar winter doesn't start till a couple days before Christmas, right? So we're well ahead of winter weather season regardless. And so to have a potential winter weather threat, the possibility of light snow accumulations, not a small deal. Now, the big weather is going to be the cold. We'll take a look at that in a second, but figured we start off close to home. Some of you have already seen this forecast issued. It came out early this afternoon. And for the National Weather Service to use not only the S word, but the A word, snow and accumulations respectively, that captures my attention. So it's not just the plateau where they'll get more, half an inch to 1 inch, but west of the plateau, that implies that some areas will get up to a quarter inch, which we've seen before. We saw that in 2014 for many in Middle Tennessee. And then last year, if you got along and west of the Tennessee River, you got up to about an inch. I saw that last year because I chased in Camden. See if I could link that particular chase vid in the description. Approximate timing, this will be a late dinner special, 7 to midnight. But we're within 48 hours now, and that's why I'm cutting this. I wanted to wait until we got within 2 days of impact, which I'll put in air quotes because it's not much. It's not going to be that big a deal. It'll be a minor inconvenience if it's cold enough it sticks to roadways. If it sticks anywhere, really, it's an inconvenience because that implies that there could be some penguin action, some slippery treading, if you will. So I advise going to the weather.gov website, clicking Middle Tennessee. That should direct you to the OHX page, and you can read these forecaster comments. Definitely good to keep in mind. For our purposes, we're interested in tracking, so we're going to keep going. We'll start off with the Euro. This is the 12Z animation loop. What's interesting about the Euro is that it seems to be pretty aggressive compared to the other models in terms of precip amounts. You could see if we pause it, let's see, is there a pause button here? Can I pause this? I don't have it, but you can see that some of the darker blue shadings envelops most of the mid-state as it pushes through, and this hints that this could be a nice early season snow event for the mountains in East Tennessee and Western North Carolina, along the spine of the Appalachians. And what's interesting is that a couple things stand out just from this animation loop alone. One is the orientation of the front. You could see that this is diving down almost like a clipper, an Alberta clipper that you'd see in the heart of winter. But this is not a front that is going to go progressively from the west and move eastward. This is going to have a northwesterly component to it as it pulls down some much colder air. And usually one of the things we talk about as far as why we don't see snow in Middle Tennessee is because the cold air is chasing the precipitation. And oftentimes all the precip is out of the picture by the time that the column that could support snow, that's at or below freezing at every level, which is what you need to see snow. If it's not, then that's when you either see rain or mixed precipitation, depending on the depth of the above freezing layer and where it orients in the atmosphere. So a lot of times we don't get that complete cooling of the column until after the precip is moved out and the front is cleared. But it looks like we're going to get some of that cold air intrusion, some strong cold air advection ahead of the front, and there'll still be some precipitation lingering after or behind the front. So interesting to look at the Euro, and you could see how, just speaking for Dixon County here, the mean run, the run you just saw, that's, I believe this is the 12Z. At any rate, it's 0.4. The ensemble mean, though, is higher, 0.7. So that's always interesting when the ensemble is greater than the main. I'm a little skeptical if, say, the main run was 0.7 and say that the ensemble was 0.4 less. I would, either way, I tend to give more credence to the ensemble mean. With a max of 1.6, that's kind of the ceiling. But even the min, what's interesting about the min is that suggests measurable precipitation. The min represents that we'll see just a little bit more than a dusting, maybe a glorified dusting, enough to just get that snow/winter appetite back in action, right? So we'll close off the Euro animation and this link off of weather.us. All right. Check the GFS. This is the 12Z, about 72 hours. So this is after the storm has passed, the front is cleared. What is this, Tuesday, 12Z? So that puts us, early Tuesday morning. So this is after, what we could be waking up to Tuesday morning potentially. You can see some splashes of 1 inch or more. Interestingly, my location here in White Bluff in eastern Dixon County, it's in one of those light blue shadings, so I'll take this. But we're not looking for specifics so much. The general message is that a number of different locations could see up to a ½ an inch or even more. Higher elevations along the Highland Rim and the plateau especially, we could be looking at the potential for 1+ inches. Now, multiple inches, we should tame our expectations a little bit. WPC Weather Prediction Center, I left this open because it's interesting to note that not that far away is there a slight risk of 4 inch plus here. This probability legend pertains to the possibility of 4 inches of snow or more. So that's only 10%, but the fact that it's even 10% this early in the year in a neighboring state, pretty indicative of the air mass that's coming and the snow potential involved. And I like this page better. You get the precip guidance. All you need to know as we go through this, I wish I could break this down by region. It's a little bit of a bummer, but it's showing 10, 20, then you get to 30 in the plateau, 40, 50. Jamestown, you're looking right at 50% of 1 inch or more. I think that's actually pretty conservative. But look at all, most of Middle Tennessee is in a green shading, which is 20, 30, 40%, but we're talking about 1 inch of snow. Okay, that's actually pretty good. If that's the kind of a floor, if you will, I'll gladly take that. I think you can almost double these odds, or at least 1.5 times them to get to maybe that ½ inch threshold. Either way, measurable snow, it's looking more likely. All said and done. So, 12ZM. So this is what the 18Z was showing, and I'll back up a little bit. The 18Z, this is really bullish. You could see, look how strong that high is. It's in British Columbia, I guess maybe pushing into Alberta, but it's going really quickly. You can see it's a 1048 high, about to cross into Montana, and it's still 1045 as it dives southward. It's now over the Dakotas, 1042. You could kind of see where that dome of high pressure setting up. It's over the northern Great Plains by the time we get to Monday night, and this is going to be interesting where that high sets up. It should be in a pretty good location to drive the winds from the north for most in the mid-south. And you can see we have a low pressure list that's being printed over the Virginias there, but the screaming message here, and the NAM has its own weakness and biases, but it does look like there's going to be enough cold air pouring in with precip to spare, and that's what we want to see. Now I could go into the it's always hard to navigate this site when I'm on the moon. Let's see if we can get some. What's the total snowfall? Yeah, the NAM is way too bullish on snow amounts. There's no way you drive 30, 45 minutes southwest of Memphis, heading towards Little Rock, you're going to see a 4-inch amount. That just is not accurate. So I'm almost, I'm prone to throw out the 18Z run, and that's fair. It's the weakest of the 4 daily runs, the truncation. So we'll come back to this. Now the 0Z NAM just initialized, as it normally does, close to 9 o'clock. I think it starts at 8:30. I think it starts at 8 actually, and then it just updates throughout the hour. In standard time, by the way. Now that we're in standard time. Here we go. I'm way too hard ahead of myself. Let's go to 24 hours because tomorrow's going to be a nice day. High in the low, maybe even mid 60s with sunshine. Tomorrow's going to be a great day to get out. It's probably the nicest day in the extended. So pretty robust precip shield that kind of loses some of its mojo over Kansas as that high presses and maybe some drier intrusion there. So you see that low. There are a couple lows here. I guess the main parent one is again over the Virginias at hour 45. Where are we? We're in Monday afternoon. Some of us have the day off, including me. One of the last Veterans Days I'll have off for a while because of a job change. It's currently going underway. More on that on Hisco Friday. Stay tuned. What's interesting about this is that, and a little concerning if we're taking this verbatim, is the amount of dry air like this. The precip shield kind of weakens or at least thins out earlier than prior runs. This is better than the 12Z run. The 12Z run was pretty light on the snow amounts, but this says that the real action is going to get going north and east of 65 and would leave my location anyway kind of high and dry. But I don't really buy this because it really shows that not much is going to happen in Western Kentucky. And I think Western Kentucky could get, they're way more likely to get an inch or two out of this than we are in Middle Tennessee. So not buying the fact that the snow kind of just is, it's a splotchy setup until boom, and you get to the plateau. Now I get the plateau is going to get more amount. I buy this frame here, 54, but I think there's going to be more snow potentially back building just a little bit, at least from a model representation at this particular time frame. And the amounts, if you must know, let's look at that. I'm just looking at it for the first time. Yeah, you can see the cutoff. I don't really buy that Clarksville, you're going to get shut out, and Murfreesboro, you're going to get an inch. I buy this for the plateau, but this is way too bullish, to the south. And the NAM does have a colder than, it does have a cold bias. So you have to watch out for that. In the summer, in the wintertime, you'll see crazy clown maps, 1 to 2 feet for a storm that produces 1 to 2 inches when it's all said and done because it's factoring in sleet. And, it doesn't exactly, it's a long story, but when you look at soundings, we're going to look at a sounding in just a minute. It has a tendency to cool the column quicker and overall kind of, we talk about surface temps, it's off by a couple degrees in the colder direction. Let's go back to tropical. Man, I'm sorry, guys. I'm super sleepy. I already X'd out of something I didn't mean to X out on. Let's go back to Pivotal. So I was on that end. The site we're just on is Tropical Tidbits. Pivotal Weather Tropical Tidbits are my favorites to use in addition to NOAA products. I like weather models. I don't have a subscription to Weather Bell, but I follow people who do. So I kind of follow Weather Bell indirectly. And this is probably not a bad thing that I closed out because it's a good reminder navigating this site to, get the pathway down. I always start to zoom continental U.S. I don't want to, oftentimes I just want to see regional. I want to just see what weather is looking like for my cul-de-sac of the CONUS, the southeast, You could see Ohio Valley. That's what you want to click on. Looking for that circle. And so there's a lot of different parameters you could browse through. The hours are up here, and this puts you from which the run was initialized, not the current time you're looking at it. So 24 hours is not 24 hours. We have to, so 18Z, that's 6 p.m., converting Zulu time to Central Standard Time. And so you go 24 hours. You click this button here. That's going to tell you what the weather's going to do, or it's giving you the model's thoughts on what the weather will be like 24 hours. So 6 p.m. Sunday, if I understand that correctly. Let's just get to the totals. We'll just cut because that's what you want to know. That's all you really care about, right? So we're going back. We'll go 60. I want to see if there's we can get soundings. Oh, this is okay. So this is actually a different. What is this? The 18Z GFS. Whoops. So this is going to be more bullish. I think 18Z also has a cooler bias, maybe. I would love this look way more than the other one we were looking at. So this is 18Z. We're looking at 12Z earlier. Let's do 12Z. A little bit more realistic. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, what was that first map we were looking at? Sorry guys. This is just a little too much as far as, well, the main point is to show you how to find sounding. So we'll just click on this, and this is why I like pivotal weather as a little bit more as opposed to tropical tidbits. You can check and see what, you could check out lapse rates. You could check out, adiabatic lapse rates, surface temps you get here. This is, one dew point. The other is the environmental air of the parcel. This is great, especially in severe weather season, but for the average layman, you're looking at best guess precip type down here, and if it says snow, that's a good thing. If you don't see anything here, it's probably unknown or it's too dry for there to be anything measurable, perhaps. So that's all. All right. The main story is going to be cold. I like this tweet from the National Weather Service, WPC. These are projected record low maxes for the date Tuesday, November 12th. You can see Nashville's included. Look, the dome of this cold air, the magnitude of it, and just how much of the country is encompassed. The eastern 2/3 minus Florida. This is exceptional. And the areas that are, out here in red, they were getting all the cold air last month. But boy, have things reversed. And the 6 to 10 day outlook, this was issued by NOAA or today, really. Look how we're in the bullseye of that. You could say the coldest air, but the probability for colder than average anomalies, that's an 80% bubble right there. So basically, very likely, we're going to see cold temps. And for my location, it's been oscillating between 29-14 and 30-15. But the fact that we're going to have a mean temperature in the low 20s, that's almost 30 degrees below normal. Between 25 and 30 degrees below normal. That's absurd. So know that we got record cold on the way. There's going to be record highs that are set. I don't know about shattered, but they're going to be set throughout Tennessee Tuesday. So hopefully we'll have some snow to play in, snow to cash in. But for now, that's all I got. I'll have a more detailed vid tomorrow. Again, apologies for just for looking sick, even though I'm not sick. It's just been a long day, a long week, and a long 5-6 weeks. I'll put a post out on His Grow Friday kind of talking about that. But hopefully I'll be more lively and energetic. Deep down, I'm way more excited than I've let on tonight. So thank you for putting up with me. I'll catch you on the Friday. As always, peace.